get on and talk about this whole metaverse thing. For a lot of people, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But in reality, it's probably going to be more enterprise adoption, businesses, corporate use, etc. before it gets on to the consumer level. I mean, is that the sort of sense you got from CES, which is a consumer electronics show?
Yeah, it wasn't only a sense from CES, but we certainly saw that reiterated. The use cases have to be able to be commercialized sooner. And that really goes down to a lot of what we talk about here every day is the market and the economy. With the market getting tougher, tech companies pulling back, they're going to be looking at applying their efforts and their investments into R&D that drives technology that people can commercialize and monetize immediately. We saw what happened to Meta when it got a little bit too ambitious about what the future of the metaverse may look like, more of those consumer applications, us hanging out with our friends, wearing big, large headsets in a virtual universe, and how much of the market is really going to get into that right away. But if you look at what NVIDIA is doing with the Omniverse, helping to build autonomous environments or using generative AI to actually build worlds of the future, where you can see what a building might look like in a space, or designing the inside of an office, or even getting to the point where what we saw with Magic Leap and Cisco, or what Microsoft is doing with Teams, to be able to create a more collaborative meeting experience where we get in the room together. Because I tell you one thing, is we've gotten back into real world meetings and events. There are connections and relationships that are built in those real world experiences that are just different than what we were able to do on Zoom or team meetings. And I think that's really good. And maybe the metaverse can bridge us a bit there.
I hear you, Dan, and I like a good campfire and a good sing-song, and virtually roasting marshmallows is fine, but isn't this becoming an entirely wasted opportunity? I don't see, and maybe I'm missing something, applications for education, for healthcare, for housing that you touched upon, real-world applications. It's not happening. Doesn't this technology and don't these developers have to move beyond gaming and what seems to be 21st century smell-o-vision?
Yeah, I thought the OVR stuff was neat. And I think the opportunity to be in a space and experience something beyond just what we see, what we hear is really interesting. But you did hit something on the head that I feel exactly the same about. And that's the real applications for this are going to be manufacturing. It's going to be planning, engineering. It's going to be in healthcare. The digital twin to develop automotive technologies of the future and create safer experiences for us in public settings. That is the immediate opportunity for the metaverse. It's not about the big headsets and the wearables. That's part of it. That's how we experience some of these things. But what it really is about is how do we build a safer automobile and then test it more times for more miles with less physical waste, less cost, less time? How do you help someone create to generate a 3D printed valve that's going to be put onto the heart of a patient, and then be able to have the surgeon test the surgery several thousand or millions of times to make sure that the procedure is safe and reliable.
Absolutely.
Those are the kinds of things that the metaverse should be talking more about. But of course, those
100%.
commercial use cases don't always get the popularity in the news or in the media.